Okay, friends, welcome to Monday, August 31st. Can you believe it is almost September? Today we're going to talk about constant of proportionality a little bit more and just practice that and make sure we understand that within a table. So our goals today are the same as Friday. I can use a table to reason about quantities that are in a proportional relationship and to understand the term proportional relationship and constant of proportionality. So, before we move on, let's just remember what a proportional relationship is. That is a relationship between ratios where both are multiplied by the same scale factor. And then there are three ways we can determine proportional relationships based on ratios that are given. We can use the cross-multiplying method, the scale factor method, or the simplifying fractions method. And that's what we did on Thursday. And then we've talked about constant of proportionality. And remember, we said that is the unit rate for a proportional relationship, and it is constant throughout a problem. So if you look at this table between A and B, each row has a scale factor. So 2 times 3 gives us 6. 3 times 3 gives us 9. But the relationship between column A and column B is the constant of proportionality. Any value in A times 3 gives us the value in B. So 3 is the constant of proportionality. So let's practice this a little bit more. So what I want us to do is we're going to decide if each of these tables is a proportional relationship. And for it to be proportional, we have to multiply by the same number from x to y. So 2 times what gives us 6? Times 3. 3 times what gives us 9? Times 3. 4 times what gives us 12? Times 3. So we're multiplying x times 3 to get y. So every value is times 3. So that means the constant of proportionality, or COP, is equal to 3, and this table is proportional. Let's look at the second table. From 0 to 4, 0 times what number gives us 4? Well, let's remember, any number times 0 gives us 0. So this doesn't work at all. And then if we did 1 times something gives us 6, that's times 6. And 2 times something gives us 8, that's times 4. So this is not possible at all, and these two are different, so this table is not proportional. All right, let's add a little bit more practice. This time I've given you a table, and I've given you x and y, but now they're horizontal instead of vertical. In our tables before, we said x to y, and we did x times something gives us y. So this time we're going to multiply 3 times something gives us 7. 6 times something gives us 14. 9 times something gives us 21. 12 times something gives us 28. So y is the product, and then we're going to figure out what we multiply. And I like to just rewrite these. 3 times something equals 7. That's not going to be a whole number. Remember, we use that inverse operation, 7 divided by 3, to get our answer, and we will get 2 1/3, or you can say just 7/3 again. I'm going to use 7/3 because that's easier for me to multiply other things. So, let me erase this for us. And let's try our other values to see if this is a proportional table. So I've got 6 times something equals 14. So I do 14 divided by 6, and that simplifies to 7 over 3. So I get 7/3 here, 7/3 here. Now let's do 9 to 21. Divide your product by 9. I can divide both of these by 3, and I get 7/3 again. Well, it's looking very proportional, but let's check the last one. We always have to check every set of ratios. Now I'm going to divide 28 by 12, and I think I can divide by 4 here. 28 divided by 4 is 7. 12 divided by 4 is 3, so I get 7/3 again. So every x is multiplied by 7/3, or 2 1/3, to get your y value. So this table is proportional, and our COP is 7/3, or constant of proportionality is 7/3. Let's do one more here. So what is the unit rate for this table? Well, remember, constant of proportionality is the unit rate for a set of values. So essentially, I'm going to add a row here, and I don't know what the cost is per pencil, but I can figure it out. 4 times something gives me 72 cents. If I do 72 divided by 4, remember my decimal stays. I divide by 4. 4 goes into 7 one time. I get 4, and then I get 32 as my remainder when I pull my 2 down. 4 goes into 32 8 times. So I get 0.18, or 18 cents. If I were to do the same with the second row, you would get 18 cents. Same for the third row, you would get 18 cents. So I'm multiplying by 18 cents. So per pencil, it is 18 cents. Okay? And my constant of proportionality, or unit rate, then is 18 cents. And I would circle that. Okay? And then we did this on Friday, but let's just practice a question where it asked us to fill in places in our table. So the question here is, how many gallons of water will be in the fish tank after 3 minutes? Explain your reasoning. Okay, so I know that for half of a minute I have 0.8 gallons. I can figure out a constant of proportionality here, and you would get times 1 3/5, or times 8/5. Well, that's wonderful, but I want to show you something. From 0.5 to 1, what's happening? I'm multiplying by 2 here. So I know if I double that rate, I'm going to get 0.8 times 2, and that gives me 1.6. And then from 1 to 3, I know I've got 3 units, so 1.6 times 3 is going to give me 4.8. And then how long will it take the tank to fill with 40 gallons of water? Here is where we find our constant of proportionality, which we already said was 8/5. So some number times 8/5 is equal to 40. So I'm going to divide. 40 is my product, so I divide 40 by 8/5. I'm going to move over here to do that. Remember, when we divide with fractions, you keep the first number, change division to multiplication, flip the second fraction, and I get 200 over 8. And if I divide that out, I should get 24. Correct me if I'm wrong. 24. So I'm multiplying by 8/5 all the way through. So my constant of proportionality is 8/5. Okay? All right. So your practice for today is 2 questions where you guys are going to fill in a table and talk about constant of proportionality. For the second, because it is not a vertical table, remember, this is your X, the weight of dog, and the Y is your amount of food. So what do you multiply by 15 to get to 2? All right? So practice this today, and we are going to take a quiz tomorrow. So if you have any questions, be sure to email me. All right? Have a great Monday.